he's creative like you two.
Yeah.
He's super
It
funny.
He's a writer
makes
too.
sense that you guys
Let me
are
give you your
doing what
dad's
you're
history.
doing.
I'll tell you right now.
Oh, God.
All right, here we go. How much time do we have?
Let me pull out
No,
my...
but that's interesting that you guys are doing that. It's very much, it makes sense. Like, I don't think people maybe see you, and you mentioned it earlier about he was looking at the directing. He's creative.
He really, everything in our house, even growing up, was just so artistic.
Yeah.
Everything was
it's
artistic.
for you guys to write makes total sense.
Yeah, it made sense. I mean, he always tells us being a writer is the worst job you can ever do, because we would watch him sit in his office for 8 hours a day from like 2 to 9 a.m. or later.
I mean,
or earlier.
we used to come home from school and then do our homework on the editing room floors.
Yeah.
Like that. So we were always around it.
Yeah.
But there is, again, like some added pressure of, okay, you're trying to do what your father did, but have it in a way that isn't judged based off of who your dad is. And that's kind of a tough thing to do. But I feel like finally we're earning some respect from people.
But it's different. Like, he doesn't write horror scripts. Like, Sistine's a huge horror movie fan. Like, that's why we work. We're yin and yang. I'm like a romance person. Like,
What's the best horror movie?
You
know, that's so subjective. It depends. Like, I don't like, I like things that are realistic scary. Like an actual murder.
Like Saw?
No.
Saw's cute.
Oh, cute.
No, cute's the wrong word. Saw's good, but see,
I describe that way.
No, after the 7th one, I was like,
okay,
we need something.
The one where they fell into the needles scared me more than anything's ever scared me.
That's why I'll never do acupuncture.
Final Destination?
Oh,
no, I think like the floor opened.
There was a floor that opened. I'll never forget that. That was
They literally
scary.
fell into a vat of like used
Why do you guys
needles.
like this stuff? Like,
I don't know.
I'll tell you why.
I like to
It makes me
romanticize
feel
everything.
something.
No.
When I watch a comedy, I don't really laugh. When I watch a rom-com, I don't really feel anything. At least with horror, I'm like, ooh.
Well, that's different for me.
excited.
Like, that's her escapism. Mine is watching someone fall in love. I'm like, oh, life can be so beautiful.
So different.
Yeah.
What's
Taylor, how dare you charge into this interview?
I love the old ones. I mean, my dad, like, he grew up, he showed me Silence of the Lambs.
Okay.
But is that like a horror?
Yeah,
That's like more like
but I'll tell you, it's not
psychological,
scary, but cinematically, it's really good. And like, I love the simplicity of like a Blair Witch Project, where it took nothing to make, but you're terrified. I'm trying to think new horror.
You like your cortisol raised and then you like to sew. That's
Blair
very
Witch was scary when it came out because
Yes.
they marketed in a way. Remember, where like when we were younger, at least, not to date myself too much, they like didn't tell you that it was a movie. They like kind of almost acted like it really happened.
Yeah.
That was freaky when that came out.
That's what I love.
What's your favorite romance novel?
Oh, that's so tough. I mean, lately I've been just obsessed with Pride and Prejudice, but one of my favorite romance movies that's so random, but we love Country Strong. Like, do you remember that one with Gwyneth Paltrow?
I've never seen it.
Oh, that one's a really good one. She sings country music with
Garrett
Liam
Hedlund?
Neeson and
Gorgeous.
Yeah.
And Tulsa King, gorgeous.
That one's really good. I love also, I'm a huge oldies fan. Like, I'll watch How to Catch a Thief. I love Singing in the Rain. I love, I'm trying to think of the one I just watched recently. But yeah, I just like anything involving just simple romance.
Do you guys play tennis?
No, but I think we need to learn.
Okay.
We play golf.
You play golf.
Maybe you need to date a guy a little bit older, like an older soul.
By the way, everyone's always told me to. I'm an old soul. Everyone's
I
told me
know.
to date older.
I think that you need maybe like a 37-year-old.
I would go as old as 45. Like, that's because I'm 28. I'm going to be 29 next year. And so I don't mind. My parents are 22-year age gap. So we're pretty used to an older guy around us. And this is not daddy issue thing, but I feel like I respect them more because they just have their life more figured out. And I think that with my mental maturity, even her, like, she should date a little bit older as well.
Yeah, there's no 27-year-old that's gonna give me what I need.
No, exactly.
The 27, you guys have a mature energy.
Well, also, I was saying, Lauren and I, you guys are younger than us, but we were the kind of last generation to grow up without phones, smartphones. We never even were on the dating apps. We missed that whole era.
Lucky you.
But I think like guys my age and older, same thing. And so what you're describing is maybe a person that kind of thinks with a little bit more mature way.
Because I didn't start having Instagram until I was in 10th grade in high school. Like that which was so cool because even then it took a couple more years for it to even become what it is today. So yeah, definitely someone that's been disconnected.
It's weird because, as you're saying with the dating apps, you'll go on a great date with a guy, thinks it went fantastic. He's going to go home that night, and just in case, he'll check Hinge or Raya if there's something better. And that's the problem.
No, the amount of times we've been with guys.
My mom says this too. She's like, there's always going to be someone younger, prettier, more his type, more blonde, whatever it is. And I'm like, damn.
But it's funny because most of my friends are now engaged or married and some have kids. And it's been very interesting. And also, I've questioned a lot, even just becoming older and working. And am I doing it wrong? Am I supposed to be at a certain place in my life? I'm constantly, like Sistine and I are always thinking, like, are we behind? But
yeah, I feel very behind.
I'm really happy that I've waited this long, and I'm willing to wait even more. I'm even like starting a little bit more of a fertility journey, just thinking about like that as an option, just because I don't ever want to sacrifice something that I find so important, which is like, I want to be like a homemaker. I want to have a family. I want to have kids, but I want to find the right person to do that with. So I'm like, I think turning 28 has been probably the most transformative year.
You have time. I don't even think I got married until I was 28.
But see, you got married, and that's the problem.
And so all my
mom
friends
found it like around our age too. So we're like,
so it's been very, it's been very
yeah. But I didn't
different.
have kids until way later either.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I'm also willing to wait to have kids as well, and so that's why I'm like, do I start freezing? Like, do I start like looking into that? So it's been because no one in my friend group is doing it. So
I like the idea of freezing your eggs as young as you possibly can because it gives you leverage and insurance.
Should I do it?
And what freezing your eggs really does is it gives you peace of mind.
Exactly. And I'm someone that I'm a very anxious, heady, overwhelmed person. And so I need to kind of have that security of going, I don't have to worry about this, because that is something that's super important. It's probably the most important thing to me is to make sure I have a family eventually. And so doing that and just having that insurance of, okay, I'm good. Even if I have it at 35, like we're still good. Like I got my eggs, they're 28 years old and they're cute. But yeah, no, it's been fun because Sistine and I definitely, even though we're 2 years apart, it's nice to have her alongside me because we are in different spaces.
We're single and struggling together, baby.
Yeah.
Danielle Bernstein said yesterday that she froze her eggs in New York City with Dr. Lucky.
Oh,
everyone's going to remember Dr. Lucky to freeze your eggs, right?
I can't believe that's a real name.
That Dr. Lucky. That's who I would want to freeze my eggs with.
It's so, by the way,
if I was in New York.
I've met a few people have done it, and it's not as daunting as people
so many
perceive.
girls
I think there's
doing
such
it
a
now.
bad stigma behind it.
I don't think it's as daunting as people are making.
No,
I heard it's really not as. I think everyone thinks that your hormones are going to go crazy. You're going to gain a bunch of weight. Someone said it's almost like you just ate a big meal. And that's
like everyone reacts differently, but I think that
yeah.
I think the idea of like freezing your eggs, getting injections, it sounds scary, but I think if you think about the reward you get from it, like beauty is pain, like things, good things come to those who wait, and you know you have to put a little bit of effort in, and like if you want those eggs, that you have to put a little bit of work, and so it's worth it for me. Like I don't like needles either. I have a fear of them, so
I feel like that I'm putting it out there that it'll be so easy for you to do it if you do it, and it'll be so great. Do you guys live together and work together? How's that?
You know,
what do you guys fight about?
You know what's funny, but we really don't fight about work. We fight about everything else.
We never fight about work. That's the problem. I think Sophia and I really had to understand balance because we literally wake up at the same time. We work out at the same time. We eat at the same time.
We
have dinner together every night.
You guys are like twins.
Yeah. No, everything. But so when we do fight, I think one of us is either just hangry or moody or on their period or hormonal. But what was the last thing we fought about? It was like,
I think I was overthinking something.
You were overthinking like a guy, maybe?
Yeah.
It was like so silly.
So you don't fight a lot.
We really don't fight a lot. It's mostly like we bicker. We have our tones sometimes. We can get a little bit sharp with each other.
But it's the type of fighting where we'll leave the room for 10 minutes, come back. Okay, what should we get for dinner? Like it's done.
But it was, I will say. So we've been living together for 4 years, I would say, or longer, like 5 years.
Yeah.
That is gonna be very weird when we're
really
not
depressing.
living together. And we've always talked about, do we separate? But they were like, no.
He's creative like you too.
Yeah.
He's super
he's a writer too.
It makes sense that you guys
Let me
are
give you
doing
your
what
dad's
you're
history.
doing.
I'll tell you right now.
All right, here we go. How much time do we have?
Let me pull out
but that's interesting that you guys are doing that. It's very much, it makes sense. Like, I don't think people maybe see you, and you mentioned it earlier about he was looking at the directing. He's creative.
He really, everything in our house, even growing up, was just so artistic.
Yeah.
Everything was artistic.
For you guys to write makes total sense.
Yeah, it made sense. I mean, he always tells us being a writer is the worst job you can ever do, because we would watch him sit in his office for 8 hours a day from